It is my honor to speak to you today. Today is a day to remember and reflect on the disaster that occurred a year ago. However, for you to understand why I'm here speaking in front of you today, I would like to take you back to an earlier day. January 17, 1995. The day the great Hanshin earthquake that struck my hometown of Kobe, Japan. I was a senior at Cornell, visiting my parents in Kobe that winter. Our apartment building shook at 5:46 a.m. I was thrown off my bed, and we lost heat, water, electricity, and far more. As our home was no longer safe, my parents and I moved about in our car, and we spent nights at a friend's home, and finally, after a few days, we were able to drive to Osaka. A trip that usually takes 30 minutes took us 11 hours. As I took off from Osaka Airport, I felt both safe yet regretful. I left my friends and fellow countrymen behind. As a college kid, at that time, taking care of my parents and myself was barely what I could handle. 16 years later, another disaster struck Japan. For some reason, I couldn't sleep that night. A friend from Nigeria sent me a text message asking me if my family in Japan was okay. I turned on CNN and saw the infamous footage. Countless people stood either in shock or crying, watching their friends, families, homes, and lives being washed away. I stared at the TV in tears. I had no doubt in my mind I wanted to go help. I began by helping set up a donation site on the Japanese Medical Society of America's website. That alone was not enough for me. I responded to a request for medical personnel to go serve in the disaster areas, and after a week got the okay. I called a few colleagues, asking them to cover my medical office, and within a few days, still in the month of March, I was on a plane to Japan. I landed in Tokyo, got on a bus that drove 50 of us medical volunteers in over 6 hours to Sendai. We were then split into smaller groups, and I was assigned to Minami Sanriku, a coastal town in Miyagi Prefecture. 8 of us drove 2 hours in an ambulance to the Minami Sanriku Bayside Arena, which is the largest shelter in the area. In all honesty, at that point, I was nervous and scared, as the fear of aftershocks, radiation, and the destroyed infrastructure was in my mind. The scene was far worse than I had expected, and I was not sure if I had made the right decision. Over the next few days, we saw patients soon after sunrise until sunset, as we had no light, no heat, no running water. Other than seeing patients in a makeshift clinic in the arena, we took turns going to people's homes, temples, and other small shelters to examine and treat people. Our group even helped clean bathrooms, as poor hygiene was leading to the spread of the stomach virus. Then my time came to leave. At this time, I did not want to go. However, there were already several doctors who had experienced stress disorders after what they saw, and we were not recommended to stay too long. I was driven to Tokyo, flew to Kobe for a day to show my parents that I was fine. Upon my return to New York, I reflected on what I saw. By far, the most common issues were stress, anxiety, fear, insomnia, and even depression. With the leaderships of Drs. Homa and Yanagisawa of the Japanese Medical Society of America, we were able to get in touch with doctors in the area and supported the setup of a mental health clinic called the Healing of the Heart. The first clinics opened in Fukushima, and we are in the works in setting up the same in Iwate and Miyagi prefectures. I know many of you have supported Japan in your own way, and thank you for that. And lastly, to the people of Japan, we have not forgotten about you. We're here to help. Today, tomorrow, and in the future. God bless you.